We got to start out the episode with a little Shamea song, which might be my favorite song that I've heard a housewife sing.
Look, it was relevant. It actually made sense. It took the place of a recap of last episode, which is sometimes that's all you need. And I'm okay with this song.
Bros and shows, I gotta have me my bros and shows. Bros and shows, bros and shows, I gotta have me my bros and shows.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bros and Shows. I'm your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Scoots McGillicuddy. What's up, pal?
Not a whole lot. Look, we're down in Nashville. We're just having a big old country time down there.
Yeah.
And what better way to start the day? I got to pose this question to you.
Please
than
do.
just getting up in the middle of the night, grabbing a couple of ribs. That nothing has spoke to me more on a housewife show.
Guilty.
Getting up and just grabbing some ribs from the fridge, a little leftover action. She didn't use the barbecue sauce, but you know what? If the ribs are good enough, you don't need the barbecue sauce.
It's a very good point. There's something about a cold rib. It's always like making that concession of like, I know it's the middle of the night, my hands are about to get really dirty, but like, I'm gonna eat this fucking rib. I do the same thing with wings.
I only ever eat them up. I don't eat cold wings.
I'll do the same. I'll gnaw on a cold wing too, but it's the same
If
commitment.
I'm drunk, yeah, sure, that's fine.
Well,
but
that's different. I mean, everything's fair game. I would combine all sorts of fun things when I was hammered, and then top it off with Taco Bell. So
Yeah.
that's a different
Hell
story. Hell yeah. I'm fucking hungry right now. No, but let's get into this episode in this season that continues to hit. I think that this was another solid episode. We've gotten into the middle of the season, and the fact that we've kind of maintained this pace is encouraging, especially with the funniest shit. We started that episode like 2 weeks ago with Kenya's not on the show and the show's still good. So shut up, everybody. That's saying it's not going to be. And someone's first comment was like, you hate Kenya so much, but you can't go an episode without talking to her. I was like, that's not the same thing. That's not what I was saying. But the show continues to be good.
To be fair, I mean, you did just start this episode with Kenya
because I wanted to just point out that like the show continues to be good. And now we're at a point where it has nothing to do with that stuff really, other than the Angela Brit scene that we get this time. But it's just good. It's a good show.
Sounds like you're obsessed with Kenya.
I'm not gonna bite today. I'm in a good mood.
I think this show, this season rather, has been very interesting because if you take yourself back to episode 1 and episode 2, we were talking about how there's a lot of new faces, a lot of people. Let's see how it works. Seems like we're centering around Shamia. We haven't been centered around Shamia in like 4 or 5 episodes at this point.
I know.
She has taken a firm back seat. She seems to be okay with it too. Yeah, obviously she started off this episode with a little song. Love that. But she's not the center of any of the controversy. She's not the center of a lot of topics. She seems to be a role player right now, and she seems to be okay with it too, which is very important because it's not showing that her ego's too big and she has to insert herself here or there. But we're also getting a good idea of what I like to do, what each housewife storyline is going to be. Because you know what? If they're going to go into each season and say, wow, this is going to be my storyline this year, then so am I. And it's getting very apparent what a certain number of these women are doing. Mostly just 2 of them. But the rest, they're all kind of falling in line.
Yeah, and someone made that point on Twitter last week, and I pointed it out that the reason that this show seems to be flourishing like this is that you have someone else take the reins kind of each episode. And I saw today, I was doing a little dive after I watched it, and people were saying like, there's no clear front runner, like who's leading the group. Porsha is a supporting member at this point. I think that's what's doing well. I think that's why it's good, because you're also not seeing people get butthurt about the fact that they're not the center of attention. Everyone's kind of just playing their role, and sometimes it's elevated. Sometimes it's a supporting cast member, and I think that it's making the show really good because you're getting
for one person in particular. It's getting lazy for me, and I don't care for
Porsha.
Yep,
yeah,
it is.
No, that was tough.
It is
to watch.
very tired. It's very, very, very lazy, and we pointed it out like an episode or 2 ago. It seems like Porsha just grabbed onto this whole Dennis and Drew thing and just said, whoa, oh, there we go. I've got a storyline made in there. It's like, okay, but you still have to do other shit. We can't just sit there and just mail it in the rest of the season just because you've got something going on. Like, do I think that you got a phone call before dinner? Probably not.
Oh, you don't think the phone call was real?
I don't think the phone call happened at all. We didn't
right.
see that phone call. We saw a phone call where she was talking to her daughter and Dennis. Sure. but she didn't get a second phone call on camera. Why wouldn't we see that? So no, I think she made that up, and she's just mailing it in at this point, and I don't care for it. It's very lazy work by Porsha.
I think that she'll come back. I don't think that that's going to be. I think the biggest thing, like you pointed out, we need some resolve on the Drew Dennis thing, or we need to move on at this point, because it's not interesting enough to where it's going to maintain a whole season. And it's like we have been stagnant with it now for 3 or 4, maybe even 5 episodes since it started. Yeah. Really,
it's just
you could argue the whole season.
It's giving me a Thornton at this point, where here's what I've got going on. I'm going to make this last all season, and we're going to have a huge payoff at the end. I don't care for it. Just work through it naturally. Work through it as you should. And yeah, there's other people that are forcing the issue. Angela. And I don't know which team Angela's actually on, or if she's just forcing the
Team
issue.
Angela.
I love that. She is Team Angela. And I you know what? I'm Team Angela too. So
I think everybody
we're going to have to see how it goes. It's just right now, if I have to nitpick a little bit, Porsha has to do better. We know what you're doing. Drew, you have to do better. I know exactly what you're doing. The rest of the ladies are still trying to figure it out when it comes to the newbies. We'll have to see how it goes. I'm not going to be too hard, too critical right now, but just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I think that's a good outlook on what to expect moving forward, or what we want to see moving forward. But let's jump in. We start out with Brit and Mike on FaceTime. And Angela's the new focal point for her. And it seems like she's just jumping from person to person to try to drum up shit and going back over everything. She's like, well, she rubbed me the wrong way, and she invited Drew. It's like, stop getting stuck on other people's shit. Because it's not.
Maybe we'd at least get an update on whether or not she was able to secure that Ferrari, which, you know, she probably can't afford. So
there's no way, especially if you're being investigated by the fucking insurance board or whatever.
Who knows if she actually is? Cast of liars.
I saw something pop up about that where I think she actually is under investigation, but I don't know if it's for the reasons that she's claiming. Like I said, allegedly.
Oh, allegedly. Sorry.
Allegedly.
We need that time. We need what the Valley had the other day.
We should put an allegedly sign like somewhere in the stew.
Yeah, let's get one of those LED signs just like right behind.
No. No. If it looks like an old bar sign.
It attracts bugs.
Yep. The funniest shit, dude. Speaking of, so I have like a ring light now. You know that. So like the ring light, sometimes I'll leave it on when we're done recording for a little bit and like go in the kitchen. I have 2 lovely older ladies that live right behind my house, and like our backyards are back up to each other. One of them asked Dev, she's like, what is that light in the back of your house? It's very bright. It's like a circle. It's like, oh, my husband has a podcast. They're like, oh, okay. And another time with the water cooler.
Yeah.
It was empty and the red light was flashing. And I went out back, I was grilling, and one of the ladies ran to my fence and was like, oh my God, thank God I caught you. There's a flashing red light in your house, and I'm not sure what it is. And I was like, oh, that's my water cooler. She's like, oh, I thought it was like a carbon monoxide detector.
Yeah.
I was like, no,
which, by the way, those let out a very loud noise. But
yeah. No, she's just looking out. I appreciate it, even though they're peering into my house frequently. It's all
a little nosy. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. They're very sweet. But we move on to Shamia and Shiloh and Gerald, and snaps for Gerald here because they're at the pediatrician, it looks like, and Shiloh, as we know, has had medical complications since she was born. So anytime that she has to go to the doctor with something, I'm sure it's an elevated sense of anxiety. Gerald, like, how many times do we see dads like solo doing what they should be doing, where they're at the fucking pediatrician? Hey, you have fun. I got right. It was so refreshing to hear him be like, you have fun. We're good here. The fact that she's like, he's such a great dad. He's such a great husband, like supportive as shit. I was like, fuck yeah, Gerald. I don't know you. I know you're an AC unit guy for like commercial buildings, and you're a good dad. And you buy fucking crazy expensive cars. And your house is sick. Thanks, Gerald. But big props.
We're bringing wealth, and we're bringing good husbands back to housewives. What more could we ask for? Well,
nothing.
Husband.
Well,
good husband.
Good husband. We'll take that. But we'll take it.
The others.
Take what you can get.
Actually, Charles, you know, he's going to be a focal point, but I'm still putting him in the camp of good husband.
He's just Charles. And she's just Angela. They have their dynamic. It seems to work. So I don't have, until I have reasons. We're evidence-based here. Until we have reasons to say otherwise, we won't. But the minute we do, we will. Right? Even to Charles Oakley, and he scares me because just watch some of his highlights.
We might back off on that one.
Yeah.
I don't want that smoke.
I don't want that smoke either. Yeah, he was tough on the court. Yeah, nope. Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, we get to Angela and Cynthia, and they're talking about Drew and Angela's loyalty. And I fuck with it. Like how she stands up. Like we see too many times on housewife shows when you're in a different group of people, you act a different way, or you stand up for different people, or you don't stand up for somebody that you should stand up for. Angela doesn't subscribe to anybody else's timeline or agenda. Like she is literally on an island of her own. Like this is how I operate. If you don't fuck with it, I don't fuck with you.
Yeah. Porsha did this whole trip under the guise of Drew's not invited. I don't want to be talking about Drew the whole time.
Yeah.
And yeah, Angela did bring up that she was going to invite Drew, which then compelled everybody else to start talking about her. But I don't believe that this whole trip wouldn't just be a Drew slam from everybody else. Why the fuck? There's a couple of things that are bothering me.
Okay.
One, it's a cast trip. Invite everybody. We talked about this last week. I don't give a shit if it's your birthday. Invite everybody on the cast. If people can't go because they have prior commitments or things going on, fine. If they feel uncomfortable, that's on them. You throw the invite to them. It's a fucking TV show. Go do your own little private birthday bash, whatever the hell you want, somewhere else off camera. It's not for our viewing pleasure. Do whatever the hell you want. Two, do you really have to invite all of your little minion friends that are just going to yap and yap and yap whenever you bring a comment up? That's what you want. Go ahead and again, go do that on your own little private birthday bash. That pissed me off.
Yeah.
I have a question though.
Okay.
I think Angela is way more in the, I don't want to watch somebody get bullied from afar, or she really doesn't give a shit about Drew and she's doing this for the show, then she is actually a friend of Drew, because I cannot see Angela and Drew actually being friends. And if that blows up at some point in the next couple episodes, I would not be surprised, because those two personalities do not make any sense together for me.
Well, we already got an inkling that she's setting Drew up. But that's also from Porsha, who's anti-Drew, so it's hard to...
I don't know if it's a full setup. I think if it's done for the show, that's not a full setup in my mind. It's more like, hey, we're going to force the issue so that we can get through this, because I'm tired of hearing about it, which I would do that too. I
mean, to answer your question, I do think a lot of it is principle. Like, let's not talk shit if they're not here kind of deal. Yeah. Like, I do agree with that. As far as her relationship with Drew, I don't think they're as tight as she's letting on. And it could just be a simple...
she has to do that.
You know, I think so. Yeah. And that could be show oriented, or it's just, again, a respect thing. It's like, I don't subscribe against to, we're not going to do this. If she's not here, I'm not going to sit around and bash somebody. I think that's probably most of it. But, you know, Porsha feels how she feels, and Drew put herself in that spot. That is Cynthia's take. Cynthia, my God, this season, just absolute voice of reason. So cool, calm, and collected. Like, I'm a big fan of hers this season. I think she's doing great.
She is voice of reason. She did take a step back a little bit later in this episode. She seemed to be on the wrong team.
Yeah, so, but, you know, it's going to happen.
But you know what? That's going to happen. You've got relationships that predate this show, that predate a lot of the things that are going on in this show. You know? So I'm not going to fault you there. But I do agree with you. I like when she shows up and she seems to be talking reason to everybody, at least the sane people. And it seems like Cynthia probably has an ear to the ground, like, hey, Angela seems pretty real. She seems pretty sane. I can have an actual conversation with her. Angela can give it back. She can talk about things openly. Porsha, you know, there's a friendship there. The Kenya thing that we saw, Cynthia was fully talking every bit of sense, trying to get it back into Kenya. Like, hey,
still in this
episode.
Is
insane. Yeah, this is insane. Why are we doing this? So I do like what she's been doing pretty much this whole season as a friend of.
Yeah, I agree. It's almost like you have this wise housewife from the OG era that's like kind of just overseeing as these newbies kind of scramble, and she's like, oh, that's a mistake, oh, that's a mistake, and she's just kind of sitting back.
Angel on the shoulder, and then the other shoulder is really just their inner demon.
Yes, that's a really good. She's here like, don't do that, and then the other one is there.
The other one
like,
is, it's just a little version of that person
like, no, do it.
That wants to be demonic.
And Cynthia's like, no, don't do it.
Yep.
But Drew arrives and sees the rooming situation with the bunk beds. It's like, dude, please be cool about the bunk beds. You're not supposed to be there anyway. Like, I didn't want that to be a thing, and it really wasn't. But the fact
sleep there.
I know she left, but like the fact that she got there and didn't speak to Porsha was an interesting move. And Angela's like, do it. She's like, why? It's like, to help me out. Like, I put my neck on the line for you to come on this trip. And she's like, you put yourself in that spot. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, come
This
on.
is when I want Angela to just turn on Drew full force.
Go talk to
I
her.
made it good. Like if Angela walked into the room and just started talking to Porsha, I made a big mistake. I thought that she was gonna try. I told her that I stuck my neck out for her last night. She didn't have my back at all. I don't know why I had her back. Go ahead, do whatever you want. I don't care anymore. That would have been awesome.
We could
get there.
Like I'm curious, Angela's storyline, where she goes from this episode is going to be really interesting because I'm not sure. Like I really don't know which way she's going to go. But Porsha and Shamia are talking about the birthday and the fact that Drew is there, and her whole thing is now she's saying that Angela catches a lot of shit for things that I don't think she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
She's gaslighting, and she's gone over with her and she just gaslights me. I'm like, I don't like.
She's not.
Right? Am I misreading situations?
I don't see it either, and I was just as confused. And I don't know, when it comes down to like Porsha trying to spin some sort of web, I don't really believe it, but she does have a good handle on kind of hooking me. Sometimes I do believe it, and I don't like it. I don't care for it.
She's very convincing.
I'm very convinced in my own thoughts until she starts talking, and then halfway through, I'm like, what the fuck? What am I doing? I'm on Angela's team. Why is she doing this to me?
She's very convincing. She's very convincing. But I will say I had high hopes because Porsha seems to handle the Drew thing well. She's like, she says hi, they hug. She says, like, I'm not letting this get me down today. It's my birthday. We're just all going to go have fun. Go drink what you want to drink. We'll all meet back at the house. And everyone gets on the Sprinter van. And then Shamia starts crying. And I assumed that it was about Shiloh. But I guess this was pretty powerful. I didn't know all this stuff. And I guess she was married in 2008. She got divorced, an abusive husband who in public, I guess, hit her out of her shoes.
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy. But she shares that story. And I guess she got a text I was confused about this part a little bit. She got a text from a woman.
Confused too. I was hoping that you took better notes.
I think I got it. I just didn't want to like speak out of turn because it's such a serious topic. So it's like, I guess a woman had questioned it back in the day. And then this day decided to reach out to Shamia and apologize for questioning her. Be like, I didn't know the full scope of everything. And I'm sorry that I didn't believe you, or something along those lines, I believe is what happened.
Weird timing. Yeah.
It's very strange timing, but it was just, I think that's what it was. Cause she said the last time it was like from 2005 or something is when they last spoke. I don't know.
Wow.
So that's a very long carryover for her to apologize, but I
guess like in a sense, like, of course, she's overwhelmed with emotion when she gets a text like that she was not expecting after all.
And she's also vulnerable because of the Shiloh shit.
For sure. Yeah. But it, in a way it's kind of empowering and vindicating too, because, you don't need anybody else to necessarily believe your story, but that is pretty much what the whole movement is that's what you're going through. A lot of people don't believe it. They're always going to victim blame and do all this bullshit. She spoke up. She did all of that. She was very vulnerable about it, and feeling like she got that text now, it's got to be, it's very empowering, but I'm sure it's incredibly emotional.
Yeah, I would imagine so too. And then, Cynthia's mom had a similar story and she spoke out about it, which I thought was awesome. And Cynthia talks about how difficult her mom's life must have been getting her to where she is. And she understands Shamia had no idea what she had gone through. And the fact, and this is a great point, the fact that Shamia's overall outlook and temperament on life is what it is, considering what she's gone through. And she's still so upbeat all the time. It's like, I'm a massive Shamia stan. I have been since I saw her. But even like every episode, I love her more and more. And this goes to show that. But if you are in Nashville, especially on a girls trip, you got to go to Coyote Ugly, right? It has to happen. But these two scenes side by side were so fucking funny because
is that where the original movie took place? Was it in Nashville?
I don't think.
I always thought it was in like some weird Midwest town.
Yeah, I don't think it was in Nashville.
Yeah,
I don't think
it was in like a made up town in Nebraska or some shit.
Nebraska.
I don't know, man. Midwest.
Coyote Ugly in the movie. No, I don't care that it was filmed. It was filmed in New York. Oh, it's set. Oh,
it's set in
that
New York?
Doesn't make any sense. It says it's set in New York.
Oh, it's got to be like upstate New York.
The fictional Coyote. This one says it was filmed there.
Oh boy. Source off.
The original. Oh, here you go. The original Coyote Ugly Saloon is located in the East Village neighborhood in Manhattan. There you go.
No fucking way did that movie take place in Manhattan.
Yeah,
what I remember.
I'm blown away too.
How
I had
about
no
that?
idea. There you
Wow.
go, buddy. The original Coyote Ugly was in Manhattan. And that's where they filmed
it kind of takes a lot of the charm out of it.
right? That makes it a different movie for me.
Manhattan. Ugh.
That's so weird. That just, who'd have thunk? Manhattan. Whatever.
We
Anyway,
learn something new every day on this podcast.
then we share it with all of you. Now you guys
For
have
those
lots of weird facts.
Yeah, except for those of you that are screaming through their stereo that it was in New York.
It's in Manhattan, you fucking idiots. Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
But
we know now.
Yeah, now we do. But seeing these two scenes side by side was funny because on one side, they're at a whiskey tasting and he's like, we want to nose it first, and then you're going to drink it, let it settle a little bit. They're all like swirling the glasses. On the other side, we're doing BJ shots and just ripping shots the entire time. It was a much different vibe on each side. But you know what? I like the full scope of everything that we got. You got both sides.
Full scope was good because we did get some conversations that needed to be had, which, I'm always going to appreciate. Going into it, when we were given the option of going to either a whiskey tasting or a drink making course, if you want to call it that, that's not what it was, but sure. I probably would have been leaning towards whiskey tasting, but you know what?
Coyote Ugly looked more
Drink
fun.
sounds kind of cool. Yeah.
I would have gone to the whiskey tasting, but that's because I loved whiskey back in the day. But the Coyote Ugly bar did seem like they were having a better time. And then the other thing is, if you're going to drink a bunch of whiskey in the middle of the day, you're going to get sleepy. And brown liquor. I'm just saying, like if you're drunk on like fun shots at a bar versus getting like whiskey drunk, it's a very different drunk.
I get the concept of whiskey tasting. I don't think I like it.
You have to, you got to spit it out. That's the difference. Like if you're really going to whiskey taste,
that.
I never did. I've been to multiple and I never spit it out. I'm saying if you want to actually do it without being a total train wreck at the end of it, you spit it out.
You hear that, bros and shows? Swallow. We don't spit.
Oh, God damn it, dude. Whiskey tastings.
Come on.
Whiskey tastings. You're gross.
Fine. That's what I was talking about.
You're gross. You know what?
Everybody,
gross.
We get that question every time we put a show up. Every time we put a poll up there for questions. It's always spit or swallow, boys.
What the fuck? Did you start drinking? Did you do a whiskey tasting today?
I wish.
Oh, anyway.
On a Monday? Come on.
But at Coyote Ugly, the Drew stuff comes up and Porsha, she's confused with Angela, and it's like, why are you talking shit at dinner about Drew instead of supporting Drew? Like you're the one that wanted her to come on this trip. Meanwhile, you're kind of setting the tone for people to talk smack about her, and that's where you get this whole thing. Porsha thinks that this is all a setup.
Yeah.
And that's based on the fact that I guess Angela had said to Shamea, and Shamea has been labeled a Porsha supporter. Okay. This goes to show that because she said that Angela told her that she has an issue with Drew because Drew and Kelly were talking shit.
Yeah.
We weren't privy to that.
We were not privy to that. But I think what producers are trying to do is push us towards that narrative. Yeah. And no matter what happens, we're always going to have that in the back of our head. Like, was Angela moving quietly and trying to set Drew up for all of this? I still don't believe it. I still don't think so
either. I think she has an issue, but
while I firmly do believe that they're not friends and they probably shouldn't be friends, I do think it's more of a principle, like you said, where she just knew this is what it was going to be. We're just going to shit talk Drew the whole time. I don't really want to be around that. It's bad energy. Let's just bring it all up. It's a cash trip. Let's just have Drew come with us. All of those things are way more in line with my thinking. But when they go into what Angela does and being victimina, as she was labeled, that's where I don't get it. I don't understand any of that. I don't think that that's what she's doing. I don't think she's playing victim. I don't think she has played victim. This is all about Drew. She stuck her neck out. She's not turning around and being like, why are you coming after me? So I don't really get it. I don't understand.
I don't either, especially when Brit brings it up at the whiskey tasting. You can tell Angela at that point's like, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to agree and be like,
Brit, I think
whatever.
Took that from Porsha and ran with it.
She did, but be original. She's not doing herself any favors this season.
No.
Like she's really.
I don't need her back.
She's not doing anything. Like it's not working. And to bring up the victim thing because Angela brings up Porsha's reaction, the victimina shit, and Brit's like, you do play victim. When did she play the victim with you, Brit? Because she brought up the fact that your insurance is weird, like that whole licensing thing was bizarre, and then
nothing
she
to
got
do with Angela
defensive
being
because,
a victim.
well, when she said that, like, why are you being investigated? It's a fucking question. Brit's like,
Yeah.
pretty much, what are you, stupid? Like, do you not know what's going on in my life? It's like, what kind of reaction do you think you're going to get from Angela after you react that way to her? So I don't see the
don't
victim
understand.
shit.
All we've seen, and then like this is starting to turn into an Angela Oakley stan podcast, but I'm okay with it because I like her a lot. I haven't seen her do any of that. I've just seen her standing on business, whether it's for herself or somebody else. Whenever she's brought up with something, which we'll talk about later with the Charles thing, but when we were in the bank and Porsha brought up the Charles rumor that she heard, Angela stood on business immediately and then
Every
just
time.
knocked it down and then moved on. So like I'm not seeing any of this that they're trying to paint her as.
I've yet to not see her stand on business and be fairly rational about whatever situation's going on. And most of the time, I agree with what she's saying. So
as long as she has her fan too, she doesn't get too hot.
Right, exactly. As long as we have the fan, she's going to stay nice and even keeled. But Angela says, like, the way that you came in to that brunch felt entitled. I kind of agree with that. Like,
I do too, yeah.
She's like, you weren't supportive, this, that, the other thing. And we bring up the cause and effect. This is where I did agree with Cynthia. And we talked about this too, that two wrongs, like, don't make a right.
Mm-hmm.
I did think that the retaliation of Kenya was way worse than what Brit had done. That being said, Brit could have been fired for what she did too. I'm not taking away from the severity of her actions, but I do think Kenya's was a much bigger step up from what she did.
Sure.
I agreed with Cynthia there, but Angela's apologizing and she continues to apologize and Brit continues to double down, triple down. I literally wrote down, bro, just accept it. Like this it's enough. She's apologizing to you, so just take the apology.
It wasn't even one of those fake like housewife apologies that we usually see. She seemed like she was contrite. She seemed like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I took it a little too far, and maybe I didn't give you enough grace after what you went through.
What I said was hurtful. It's like, great.
Yeah, like, have you not gotten an apology before? Maybe she just wasn't expecting an apology, and she just like had this all rehearsed and written out. That is what it was. She's like, I'm just gonna keep going. I got all this good shit to say. I'm just gonna keep going. Well, it doesn't make sense anymore, Britt, because she apologized like 15 times. What do you want her to do?
They eventually get to let's move forward. And Drew chimes in with like, look, we missed our friend. We're not being unsupportive. We missed our friend. I'm like, all right, that's fine. And I think that was kind of the sentiment of a lot of ladies at that table was they were still kind of dealing with the fallout of like, fuck, our close friend that's been on the show forever is gone. So
I'm sure
I think
they were in a bit of shock too.
Yeah. So I think that it all could have been chalked up to it got a little overblown. Let's rein it in. I'm sorry for what I said. Britt, just accept the fucking apology, please. Yeah. She finally does. And I guess we're going to move forward. I'm not too confident about that. I think it's going to tank again, especially after they're talking.
I just think that like Britt's not going to be able to stay off of Angela's radar. You know what I mean? Like, I think all you have to do is just kind of keep your head down and like be cordial and be nice at this point. Cause I don't see Angela and Britt being friends, but it could get there after a little bit of time. I just don't see Britt being able to like stay within herself and stay out of Angela's like line of sight for too long. She's going to jump back in there.
I think she's going to say some stupid shit, but we'll find out. But we get the Sprinter van back to the house and you got a lot of whiskey drunk people. This is very important to anybody listening. If you have an evening plan, you need a roadie.
Brown liquor.
You need a roadie, right? You have to have a drink on the Sprinter van back.
Yeah.
Because that's the kiss of death. Like a 20 to 30 minute car ride with no more booze when you're already drunk ruins the whole day. You have to take
I'm hungover just thinking about it.
Right? I can feel the dry mouth and like the slight headache and then you got to rally again. Do I take a 20-minute nap and then wake up and crush a shot? Will I bounce back? I don't know. It's a gamble. Just keep drinking.
Shower beer is usually
coming from core memory right there. Those cold fizzy bubbles with that hot water.
Oh yeah.
I got it. Nice cold Coors Light. The mountains bluer than the ocean.
Yep.
Good God.
Nice hot shower. You got to get it done before those mountains aren't blue anymore. You know what I'm talking about?
I know. It's like a fucking race. It's so much fun. Wait, where am I? Dinner. Let's get to dinner. So they set up, obviously, we're having like a cowboy dinner in the theme of Nashville. You got some cowboy bartenders who are fist bumping after they deliver drinks. I'm like, did you see that? When he walks over, like, there's Cynthia a drink, and he walks back and fucking fist bumps his buddy, like, hell yeah. Nice drink. Yeah, thanks,
Great
dude.
Drink.
There's a hell of a drink drop off. Thanks, brother.
Neither of them were the best cowboys of the night, by the way.
No, there was one that took that trophy home, and rightfully so, because my God, Blake
God, I love that
is a
guy.
fucking
I love that guy
star.
so much.
How did we not get more? I was
I
so
don't
bummed.
know.
I'm like, Blake needs to hang out the whole time.
God.
But
He's like whatever the cowboy male version is of a madam. Like he was just running that thing.
yes,
Like, boys, come on down.
where's my ranch hands? And they're like, yeehaw. It's just too funny, man. It was great. I fucking loved it. I thought it was so funny. But everyone's having drinks now. Vibes are high. Like it's been a good day. Everyone's getting along pretty well. And Porsha enters. And we saw her FaceTime previously with PJ and Dennis. She seemed like she was in a good mood. When she walks downstairs in a black dress that everyone else points out, it's like, oh shit, what are we at a funeral? And she is low energy. She does just not
she wasn't
talking to
dressed
anybody.
up. She was wearing like leggings and a tank top. Like just everybody else was dressed to the nines. She just wasn't. And that's
so
side number one. What the hell's going on?
I don't know. But she says that she got a phone call in regards to Drew filming with Dennis, which I do agree with, was discussed with Dennis. Don't fucking do that, Dennis. Dennis did it anyway. And he chose opportunity over family is her big issue with this whole thing. Now, I don't have an issue with her being upset with the phone call. I don't have an issue with her reaction to the phone call. My issue with all of it, and then we'll talk about Blake and the line dancer some more. When you get to the table, Drew is present at the table.
Yep.
You don't clock in once. That's the job.
It's that. It's the fact that there was no energy. And look, yeah, I'm sure you're butthurt about it, but deep down, you knew that this was going to happen. This is your storyline. The second day you got in that car with Dennis and told him not to film with her, the back of your head has to be like, if this does happen, this is iconic. I can go off. Drew, this is going to be great. You can't come in with this news that this is what's going on, not tell anybody else, or I think she told Cynthia or whatever, but not tell the whole group.
She told Cynthia afterwards.
But she had no energy towards Drew and then changed her energy towards Angela? Why? Why, when Drew is sitting over there, are you then being an asshole to Angela, who's seemingly not really doing anything? I know she brought Drew on the trip, but she's not doing anything at this point. So you have no energy. You're just being like bored, annoyed, don't want anything to do with this. You are on camera. You're here to entertain us.
Man.
I'm
like,
sorry,
unfortunately,
but this is your job. You signed up for this.
And to take down Drew of all people, like you can handle that. Like this isn't like a tough task here. Like sit that this is your trip. She's fucking with your birthday. Tell her off. Do something. Yep. Tell her you kick her out.
I don't know what she's worried about. You've got all these people here that are here for you for your birthday.
And they all
bring this up. Yeah, there might be one person that's going to try to defend her, and it's probably going to be Angela. But there's like a 50-50 chance that once she hears what's going on and the fact that Drew's doing that behind your back and you told him not to, and Drew told you that she wasn't going to do it, Angela could flip easily. And this could be a gang up, which, you know what? At this point, Drew kind of deserves that for what she's doing and how she's moving. Maybe, you know, it's not fairly fun to watch most of the time, but she does deserve some sort of issue being erased by everybody else.
I think it's fair to address, like, hey, you're hanging out with Dennis. I told you, like, this is a problem and you're still doing it. They still haven't really had a conversation about it, like, not a productive one. So you have every right to go off. And like, I honestly don't mind Drew's reaction to everything being like, I'm just fucking leaving. I'm like, that's fair. Like, I get there's no reason for you to be. You're clearly unwelcome. The host is not even like, it's one thing if you're unwelcomed and they're going back and forth and it's like, all right, cool. But if it's going to be just like stone cold shoulder, like, yeah, just bounce. There's nothing for you.
Just saying you're straight when you ask if you're even welcome there. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Porsha's like, oh, I said she's fine. Like, no, we all know what that means. Come on. Yeah. No, honestly, it's probably the best move possible that Drew was going to leave. Because like,
I was team Drew there. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Honestly. And look, deep down, she probably realizes I just dodged a bullet. It seems like she's got some energy towards me. I came here, I showed face, and now I've got the upper hand. I can say I showed up at your birthday. I wanted to clear the air. You weren't willing to clear the air. So now Drew thinks that she's winning this situation. You just gave her more power by not going after
the ball in her court. You did. Like, now she's like, dude, I came to your party. I bought you a bottle of whiskey to mend things. And you didn't bring up what was really going on. So like, she doesn't know that you're pissed off about the Dennis stuff. So Drew won that one by Porsha not clocking in. But Brit another example of just not handling things the right way. And it's such a simple little thing here, but it's like Angela and Brit solve things. Go on and tell them, Angela. It's like, don't do that. Don't tell her to explain why you're good, because now you're patronizing her. Angela's
tell
not
her
going
what
to take
you
it well.
learned today. Come on.
Yes. Like, what are you doing? Exactly. And now you're treating Angela, who is older than you, by the way, like a child. So she's not going to respond well. She doesn't respond well. And she's like, well, she said I play victim, which I don't really get. And then Brit's like, so you didn't take anything away from it. It's like, you're not her teacher, Brit. You're not her parent, Brit. Stop talking like you are. And also, most people watching, I would assume, are on our team, where it's like, when has she been a fucking
anybody out there? I haven't seen one supportive comment about Brit. Everybody's like, no.
It just doesn't make sense.
The support came after what Kenya did, of course. But after that, I mean, she really hasn't done anything to show, okay, you know what? We do like you. Like, we just go right back to where we were before all of that, where we didn't really like you. So I'm not seeing any support, and I don't know what she's doing.
She is clumsy. The way that
she's not even good for the show. Like, you can be clumsy and good for the show, but she's not.
She's clumsy because she thinks she's moving well. That's the difference. Like, when you get just a clumsy housewife, like, a lot of times they're fucking great. Look at Brittany Bateman in Roslick. Like, she's a disaster, but you can't say that she wasn't great for the show. Brit's just moving weird to where you're like, that doesn't make sense that somebody would do that. And that's not fun. It's like, that's weird.
No, not at all.
And they start bickering again. And Angela, I love this point too. And again, it's not victim mentality. She's like, why am I held accountable? Why is everyone coming after me? Kelly got let off the hook for asking a much more scathing question than anything that I've done. She asked about Porsha stealing somebody's husband. Porsha never answered. Why do I have to talk all this shit, but no one else? Why are we not holding the queen of the group accountable? And everyone's like, whoa. And I also was like, wow. Angela really doesn't give a fuck, and I love that.
No, she doesn't. I also love that she remembered that, because I completely forgot that Kelly even asked that question. So that means she just kept that in the back of her head. Like, hey, I'm going to bring this up when I need to.
That's a great housewife move.
That's honestly, and it is a vet move. And sometimes you would think like, oh, that's not going to hit. We already passed that. There's no reason. But she really didn't address it. Kelly actually had to take the brunt of that. And for whatever reason, people just kind of forgot about it. Now Kelly's just able to just move around and be friends with everybody. I know.
But even in this moment, when Angela brings it back up, it's like the world wants to know. And Portia's like, Angela can kiss my ass. And she's like, the rest of the world can. Portia's response is good. She's like, you first. I was like, ooh, that was good. Good, quick.
Good little back and forth.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I don't get it. I love that Angela doesn't care. Like, that's my favorite part about Angela. I really don't think she's affected by this stuff. But that's when Drew speaks up and says, like, happy birthday. I got you a bottle of whiskey. Like, are you good with me here? Like, she's saying the right things. And again, I can't fault her in this scene. And she's like, we straight. I would leave too.
Yeah,
I would leave too. And for Porsche to be like, I said we're good. It's like, no, you didn't.
You know what you did.
Yeah, I know you didn't. Come on. But she bounces, and then I will say extra points for her, because she says, if anyone has a problem with me, and this is not a normal Drew move. So I actually was like, all right, fuck yeah. Let's address it now. I'm like, yes, we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this for seasons. Let's talk about it. You guys got issues? Let's bring it up now. No one says shit. Porsha stays silent. This is where I really was like bummed out with her performance. I was like, dude, at least hash it out now. She brought it up. Yeah. Drew decides to leave. Overall, is just a tough dinner. And we get to Cynthia and Porsha. Porsha goes upstairs. Cynthia goes to check on her. She talks about the phone call. She talks about being in a good place. And then, like, you know, this bullshit's waiting for me at home. And like, that's the part that I think she's missing this season, is like, I am sympathetic to what she's going through. I do get
for
that
sure. We would be on her team if she went to go eviscerate Drew. I'm on her team right now because she's not doing anything.
That's my point. So like, it's hard to gather support when it's like, you are being wronged. Dennis is being a creep. Drew is going like moving behind your back. So call her out for it. But we've been going for what? Is this episode 8?
I think this is episode 8. Yeah.
And this has been a thing since episode 1. And we have yet to have a conversation.
That's the unfortunate thing too, because like, as soon as this happens, as soon as you have this type of energy, as soon as you're not clocking in for your job, I'm going to have questions. I'm going to start questioning, did you even get that phone call? Or do you just not feel like dealing with it right now? Or are you prolonging it so that you can continue this throughout the entire season, which every time that happens, it doesn't hit. We're too annoyed. We're too tired. We're already at that point. We've had multiple confessionals where Portia's going back and Drew's going back, and they're talking about how, Porsha was sick and she couldn't make the dinner when they were going to talk about it. And Drew reached out a couple of times. She sent a couple of text messages. Like, neither of you are doing enough, but you keep going to your confessionals and talking about the same issue. And neither of you have actually brought it up in person. Every time that somebody says something, Angela talks to Drew. Go in there, talk to Porsha, clear the air, because I stuck my neck out for you last night. Oh, I'm not going to do that. Okay, cool. Porsha, you just got a call, supposedly, allegedly, and now you can come downstairs. You've got Drew right here. The rest of the group is probably going to get behind you because that's fucked up. You can go after her. Oh, I'm not going to do that right now. I'm tired. I'm bored. I'm annoyed. I'm just going to hang out here until everybody leaves. And then I'm going to go have fun in the pool, by the way. So where was that energy beforehand when Drew was there? No, you're just prolonging it and getting it further into the season. We at home, we're going to be annoyed. We're going to be over this at some point. We're going to be backing Dennis at some point because of all of this. I don't believe that part of it. I'm just saying that's where we're going to end up because you refuse to just address it and do your job. And it's annoying. And that's where we are right now.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And here's where it gets more confusing because I agree with her. It's like Dennis is obligated to tell me. Drew's not. I'm like, I agree with that. But you can also be mad at Drew for her part in it.
For sure.
But the fact that she's saying it that way, I'm like, all right, if that's the case, then there needs to, at this point in the season, have been a conversation with you and Drew where it's either, hey, we're going to coexist, but I'm not in, like, I don't fuck with you and vice versa, or you're going to move on from it. But that we are just playing this limbo game of a thing that I can speak for both of us pretty confidently here. We don't care anymore. Yeah. I don't care now because of this prolonging of it. And that's what happens.
This was the final straw where it's like, I would care a lot. You guys could have played it perfectly where finally it just hits. I wouldn't be questioning if that phone call even happened. I would just be reveling in it.
If
If it happened in this episode, if it happened at this dinner on Portia's birthday, that would hit beautifully. And now I don't care. It's a very thin line. Now we're done.
And we've crossed it. And I don't care now. So it's unfortunate because it could have hit pretty well, like you said. But we get Adult Swim, quote unquote. All the girls go out and have a little pool party, minus Drew and Angela, who goes to bed. And you get the morning after. And it's Kelly and Brit waking up and making fun of Angela for, I guess, recording out the window and yelling to them, I heard everything. Not really something to tease her about because the shit you guys were talking was some serious shit. And that's the crazier part. And that's where I like Kelly because Kelly's the one that cops to it, which I'm like, fuck yeah. Like she gives you the tea. But Angela goes and tells her side of, she's like, I heard my name outside about 2:15. I was on the phone with Charles, which is even funnier to me that she's just inside of 2:15. Like, hey, Chuck, what's up, dude? But
dinner was at 8. That was probably over. Let's call it 10:30. You're still up 4 hours later. What are you doing? Go to sleep.
I don't know. That's my point. I'm like, wow, you're just hanging out by yourself in your room for 4.5 hours. But she says, I heard my name outside. I heard Porsha, who was drunk and spilled her truth. And I heard her talking about my dress. We don't like that.
Nope.
I don't like when people pick on that shit. And talking about Charles, saying I should fuck Charles. That's Angela's interpretation of what happened. It's not exactly what was said, but that's her interpretation. What was said,
pretty much what Kelly said too.
Arguably worse, I think. I don't know, because it's a threat, whereas this is like, I don't know. But she came down and Porsha denied saying anything. She's like, I didn't talk about you or Charles.
And
like,
then went
they're trying to paint her like crazy. That's what I don't like. Like they're trying to act like Angela's overreacting to hearing her name. And again, this goes back to her principles about Drew being present as well. Her room is above the pool.
Yeah, this wasn't a Vanderpump Villa situation where the room was like, a quick jaunt down the road. She was right there. I mean, the producer showed us it was right above the pool. So yeah, even if she wasn't actively looking out her window listening, which she could have very well have been, she still heard Charles. She still heard her name. She still heard her dress. So yeah, of course her ears are going to perk up at some point.
And then Shamea said that Charles had a baby and is always seen with other women. Porsha's exact quote via Kelly, she needs to stop before I fuck her husband. Now, given her history, whether you think that she stole a husband or not, but the fact that there's speculation about what happened with that dude, probably shouldn't do that. You probably shouldn't say that because you have a history and people are going to think that you probably did do that. If you're going to say more or less what you're saying is I'm going to do it again. That's
I think the funny thing is too, because obviously we get the call back to the first episode when Kelly asked Porsche straight up. Why'd you steal that woman's husband? Now we've got Kelly being the one to spill the tea in the confessionals. I wonder if she's sleuthing around a little bit. She might be doing that newbie strategy where she's getting to know everybody. Then she's just being sweet and chirpy and, happy. And we see her in the morning trying to talk to Angela. And she's like, look, this is how I am. This is my energy. I'm going to do this the whole time. But deep down, I do wonder if she's like, all right. I got a little.
I want to think that.
I would hope so, dude. If
I'm
she
not
flips,
saying she's not, but I want to think that she is.
I don't think she's on a team. I think she's just kind of floating around, just being a good time, which I think I'm never going to be mad at.
Hell no, those are my favorite housewives, the neutral ones that are able to bop back and forth, and that's what she's doing. And if she is storing things for later and just like gathering information and not spilling it until we need it to be spilt, like this confessional, great. That's ideal for me. And she's already like one of my favorites on this season. She's done a really good job. So hopefully she continues that. But I love that Angela, to end the episode, like, again, she is 100% true to herself, because Kelly tries to be nice and say good morning. And Angela's like, I'm not being fake. Like, I heard you guys talking shit. I'm leaving. Well, this is how I always am. She's like, that's great. Good morning, whatever. Like, I'm leaving. I walked in grown, I'm leaving grown. And she calls out what a majority of this group is. I don't think Kelly falls into this category. She's one of the few that does not. But a lot of those ladies are puppets for Porsha. And I agree. And I think what you're seeing, and if she's able to do it, and it's a tall order for Angela, especially as a newer or a newbie, if she's able to be the head of a different faction against Porsha and garner support on her team, and you have two people going against each other, would be a tremendous season.
That would be great.
So I hope that's what happens.
Great.
But we shall see.
Let's get to some questions.
Hey, Jinx, you owe me a soda or a shower beer. just drink it for
me. I love this. This is a question within a question from Liv Bender. My mom asked, why is Porsche so bent about Dennis being on the show with Drew?
I get it.
It's a deep. I fully understand it. At this point, I do believe it's a storyline, but I think if we just look at it from a practical approach, it is pretty fucked up, because neither Drew nor Dennis told Porsche, hey, I'm going to be filming with another housewife on your show, because there are a lot of rumors that are going to circulate, as there have been. Whether they're rumors or not, hopefully we do find them out. But there are already a bunch of rumors of them hooking up. So, you don't want any part of that.
Nope. From Jennifer M2M. Was this a side of Porsche we have never seen before? She was so shut down and defeated. Yeah, it was weird. It was just a strange performance out of her.
It's just strange too, because like she could very well have been down and defeated and just didn't want to deal with it anymore. But we've never seen that from Porsche before. And her energy is always so high, especially when it comes to like going after somebody else, that immediately I'm thinking, what are you doing? Why are we doing this? Like, this is wrong. Instead of being supportive and being like, oh, this must really mess her up. I'm so sorry for Porsche. That's not my feeling right away.
Yeah, that's strange. Let's do two more. This is a statement. Two of these, actually, from Shauna Marie XOH and from Angel Renee. I didn't expect to like Angela as much as I do. And from Shauna, fucking obsessed with Angela, such a great housewife. We agree.
Yep, we do.
Last one. And you know which one I'm going for.
I know.
June. Who can last longer in a mechanical bull, steel or shooter? You know the answer.
Probably steel, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hell yeah. You dig them heels in, you grip. And you got it
on a bull.
When the bull goes forward, like head down, you go head back. When the bull goes head up, you go head forward. That's the tip. Okay. That's how you ride a bull.
Yeah, I haven't been on a mechanical bull.
Do you know why bulls buck? Like real bull riding?
Why?
You know that rope tied behind the lower part of their back?
Nope.
On a bull ride. So there's the rope you hold on to in the front haunches, and then behind them on their hind legs, there's a rope that goes around their back. That one's tied securely to their nuts.
Oh.
And they're trying to buck it off. Yeah,
sounds like animal cruelty. Yeah, don't like that.
Yeah, so that's a thing now.
Stick to a mechanical bull.
There's your other fun fact from the episode.
Is there a rope around the mechanical bull's nuts too?
That I do not know. Next time we go to PBR at Xfinity, we can check.
Yep, we will.
If you see us crawling under the mechanical bull, we're looking for its balls. On that note, you got anything else?
Nope.
Well, that's our show. Bros gotta go.